Was anything in this report a surprise to you?
None of it is a surprise. It's been going on for years, and we've talked about it for years. And one of the biggest problems reading the report is that the misconduct process that the Metropolitan Police has is not fit for purpose. It doesn't actually deal with those officers. And the case studies that you've just mentioned, one of the reasons that one of those officers got 11 misconduct cases against him was because it takes between 18 months and 2 years for an investigation to be completed. Now, if you get an allegation today, you've still got another 2 years where you can rack up those. It's like traffic offences, and you can just rack them up. And even at the end of it, about 60% of those cases are not found. So there's no case to answer. And that the chances of actually getting somebody convicted or found against them is pretty small. It's about 33%, I think.
No, and we all know that that's not because they're actually working on that investigation for 18 months or 2 years. You know, they're working on it for the minimal time it takes, and then they're just spending another 18 months dragging the thing out for no particular reason. So it seems an entirely dysfunctional system, and it does, like in cases we know about in London, you know, you can wind up getting murdered because a man without the obvious police temperament has been sort of allowed to stay on.
Absolutely. And what really worries me most is that Sir Mark Rowley's response to this is to take 100 detectives off the streets and now put them into misconduct investigations. So he's created an anti-corruption unit, which means that when you're talking about burglaries or you're talking about some sort of theft and police officers aren't there to deal with it, that's because they're investigating each other. And that isn't the answer. That's not the right way. And in my view, if you want my view, is that all of these misconduct cases, all of these allegations should be taken away from the police. They shouldn't be marking their own homework. They shouldn't be investigating their mates today that they were working with yesterday. It should be completely out of their hands and somebody else look at it.
What would you be I mean, we've had situations, I think, in various, you know, I think in the Turks and Caicos, when there was a problem with corruption here, they fly in London, someone from London. Would you be in favour of a chief constable from Australia or New Zealand flying in to look at it, an outside eye, or should it actually be a non-police person?
I don't think it needs to be a police person, because most of these issues, they start off as HR type issues. And in Dame Louise Casey's report, she actually says there's minimal involvement from the HR teams. So if they got, you know, the lower case ones, maybe they wouldn't be escalated. Maybe that officer wouldn't be allowed to get away with so much because HR have already dispensed of that individual services. But what's happening is, instead of HR, you're taking good detectives off the streets who want to be there, who want to be serving the public. And instead, you know, you could be working with a group of people today, and the next day you're on this DPS, ACC, or whatever they want to call them, and you're investigating those same people that you worked with the day before. And the conviction rate is absolutely appalling, really, really low.
No.